Yeah, there's only one way to avoid World War III, and it's not even guaranteed. If you ask the right people, and they'll put all these things two and two together, and then you can verify them, is the United States is the bad guys of history when it comes to kind of weapons and war and conflict and geopolitic manipulation, which often doesn't even go their way, but they can't stop from doing it. They can't stop from lying. They can't stop from partaking in the industrial war machine. They can't stop. So peace is not possible from a lying, manipulative, warmongering, and now add racketeering kind of peace agreements type of state, which is also very conflicted inside, right? There's a lot of various organizations that have become internationally powerful within there. You know, this Pentagon, CIA, the government right now is trying to, Trump's government is trying to kind of maybe consolidate a little bit of that power, but he won't succeed. The other institutions that also get part of the funding of the war machine are old and strong, and they can't deviate from their HSD pathologies, from their norm. So knowing this, okay, and it's up to you to verify this. Like for me, one of the sources is Professor Jeffrey Sachs, okay? You can also, listen to Noam Chomsky, who's been talking for a long time and who can, as a systems thinker, put two and two together, and who has had access for decades to various kind of more accurate information about historical events and putting them together. So to avoid World War III, and it's not even guaranteed, and it's not guaranteed, and it might actually be going the other way, it'll be maybe more guaranteed. It's really hard to predict. And again, even if Harry Seldon had the psychohistory or using all of my skill sets for socio-cybernetics, I can tell you a lot of the tipping points of our species self-correcting passed in the 1960s. And that includes what we do to accelerate the Anthropocene, which includes climate catastrophe. It's the tipping points to cancel it and reverse it were passed. And it's because of us, because our social tipping points passed. And we are continuing to devolve ourselves and acting in worse and worse ways when we've never really any past empires, if you want to say, or civilizations have never been really civilizations. They've never been. Look up the definition of sentience, sapiens, civilization, and then look up like real historical patterns, and it's screwed up. So it can be fixed. But still, I think it's worth running scenarios to see in what way to kick the United States out of the United Nations, kick it out because it corrupts everything. It prevents the mission statements of all these organizations and actually probably gets access to information to do the opposite and turn these organizations into the opposite of their mission statements, such as the opposite of NATO's mission statement. So kick it out of NATO, kick it out of all the things, but do it in a way that doesn't make them too desperate, because there are elites in there who, you can sanction them not from all these organizations I mentioned. You can sanction them from not benefiting to leave the States, but to still do whatever they want in the States, and it's up to them at this point. It's almost like Prime Minister Carney should only make any deals, or any other countries, with lying, racketeering terrorists if we build a wall, but it doesn't have to be a wall. It has to be a socio-cybernetic wall, a sociology type wall, saying, well, we're going to wait 50 years before we give any of you guys a chance again, whether you're connected to the USA's government or not. And then you'll be on probation for another 50 years. But in the meantime, when, let's say, this 18 months step to remove the states in a way that doesn't make them desperate, then that 50 years of you're on your own, fix your things, and 50 years after that, we're going to give you a probation period of 50 years. They'll be very strict. And then, that's the goal for the good people in the United States, to actually say, hey, this civil war has got to get going, and we have to kind of eat the rich, and we have to say no more. And guess who is going to end up in these alligator prisons? It's the elites. And you can bring all your money there and comfortable, and we'll bring you fancy food, but you're not getting out. You're not getting even Wi-Fi in there. So I'm sorry, but that's the way it is, right? To avoid World War III.